The Sattler Files.
You're with the Sattler Files, and joining me in the studio, as he does on a regular basis, is retired Inspector Neil Royle. G'day, Neil.
Morning, Murray, and it's true, we are both together again.
Once more, just for old time's sake.
In the same breach, dear friends.
Yeah. Look, we talk about all sorts of different things, not necessarily to do with road rules and all that sort of stuff, but things policing and things
of interest,
and
law and order matters and things.
Indeed. Big news about the drug problem, the ice epidemic in Perth and in Bunbury, and I suspect in other country areas, and Armidale would have to be in there somewhere, surely.
Well, they're all up to their neck in muck and bullets everywhere you go, and the saturation bombing part that they're getting through the media at the moment for places like Bunbury and Busselton and Geraldton, and what they're now about to go dash into the northwest, are they not?
I would think so, if it's not already there. Look, I read an interview that the Commissioner did with the ABC in over the weekend. Are the police on top of this, Neil, do you reckon?
No.
No,
they're getting lots, but there's lots to get, isn't there, obviously? And I watched with interest how they came to the conclusion with their equation on the amount of water being tested. They're testing water once every 2 months or thereabouts, and from that they can tell the degree, the amount of methamphetamine being produced, not down to house numbers, but certainly down to suburbs and areas and so forth there. I'm really intrigued, and I've tried to work out how they would do that, but now they get it. Now every time I get a news media bulletin on it, it's saying that X number of kilograms per day is being used, and X number of this, and X number. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's quite. I don't know either, but it must be. They must calculate the waste and the number of people in the area and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure that there's some very clever chemists around that can tell us these things. But getting back to how they're going to control this or eradicate it, I don't think that there's any chance in the world, with all the money in the world and all the police in the world, they'll ever stop it.
Neither do I. And the spin-off from this, of course, and if you look at what's happening in the hospital services, they have code blacks, which is where the staff are getting belted up or threatened or punched or stabbed or whatever. And they've had, 700 of those in the last 2 years, thereabouts, of situations where they've had to call code black at emergency because someone's got a gun and got a knife, got a whatever it is, and going ballistic in there.
So the police answer that as a code black?
That's their own staff. That's their own call.
Good Lord.
It's not a police code, it's a hospital code.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's for their own hospital staff to know that there's things going down that are unpleasant in the ER. And they've had numerous of those, hundreds of those. And, of course, if you're trying to attract people into the nursing profession and other things, and they've got this happening on a daily basis, well, I can recall in my time we've had plenty of times resting in people in the foyers of hospitals. Right. But that's when the police are there doing something and this goes down. But when they're not there, then the nursing staff have got to cope with it. No, not good enough.
So is this something a bit like, I think, terrorism? I mean, I think we're in that for the long haul. I don't think that's ever going to be eradicated. But so is this drug problem going to be with us for the rest of time?
When you consider there's an issue now in a primary school in New South Wales, which was on yesterday, the day before, year 4, what are they? How old are they?
Year 4, they're about 6, I think, aren't they? 7? No, older than that. 8. Yeah.
Okay, so this year 4 kid comes to school with a packet of what he tells his mates are
lollies,
fizzy poppers, where they call them, or fizzy poppers. There are. In fact, it was a packet drug. Chemical rather, which you can throw into a fire to change the colour of the fire, which is really sexy and wonderful. If you're having a barbecue and you don't want to have yellow fire, you want to have purple fire, which is you probably do if you're a docker. But so the kid takes this to school and dishes them out to his mates. 20 of them get poisoned. Surprise, surprise. 4 of them are hospitalised and no one's died, etc. So the point I'm making here is, if that can happen to an 8-year-old who's, all right, he might have got conned into thinking it's lollies and so forth, but he's conned 20 of them. Is it the kid that brings the stuff from home is he as ignorant as the others thinking it is? Or does he just think, well, try this out and see how we go? Like he didn't kill 20 of them.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's always going to be those experimenting with all sorts of things. And how many times do you read tragically about rock concerts and so forth where the 19-year-old girl collapses because she's taken 2 of these or 1 of those, and all this sort of stuff happens all the time. And the lobby will say, and there's a very extensive lobby about the legalisation of marijuana. Fine, and they might have medical benefits for marijuana. I'm not here to argue that because I don't know, but certainly if there's a need for you to have a drug of some kind, be it cigarette smoking, be it marijuana or whatever it is, it's because you want that sort of lift, rise, buzz, whatever it gives you to do it. When the time comes when the marijuana doesn't give you that, well, what's next? Let's go somewhere else. And horror of horrors, there are some who don't even start that stage. They go straight to the heavy stuff, and then it's all downhill from there.
Yeah. And ice, of course, is a particularly horrible drug because we've all seen the effects on Ben Cousins and
lots of others.
And lots of others, but he's a fairly high-profile one. So what can the police do about it? I mean, obviously they've got intelligence about clan labs and all of those sorts of things, and it's obvious, and I've read that it's being imported from China. So, I mean, they're fighting on about 50 fronts, aren't they?
The coppers are in a hiding to nothing, really, because what they generally get is the end product, which the person who's ingested this stuff goes off his face and commits a crime or whatever he does, and they get him. Right. Not who's making and who's delivering, who's selling, who's providing, who's supplying, not all the time anyway. And again, of course, there are those who of criminal persuasion and intent who look for the easy buck. And it is, if you can make it without blowing your house up on others, there is a shilling to be made in this sort of stuff here because it is marketable, and if you can sell it cheaper than somebody else, well, you can make a quid out of it. And of course, the average crim doesn't want to work in any case.
No,
that's why they break into your house and do various things. So that's for them to do. And the market is always there. I suppose the education part of it about, and everyone knows. I mean, I know a lot of people. I don't know any drug addicts that I know of. There might be some closet ones, I don't know, but I don't know anybody. And everybody I talked about are horrified with it all. But for it to be a pandemic, as it almost is,
yes.
Well, the police are on a hiding to nothing. They seek and request information from the public all the time, and they get overwhelmed with it. They get overwhelmed with it. You got horror stories from parents and loved ones of people who are affected by it, who have taken their lives, who have taken other people's lives, who beseech and plead with those that are there to help us. And the thin blue line is see-through. It is really, really thin. Really
so really, at the end of the day, what the police are seeing in large part is the result of this, not the cause. Not the supply, not the right down to the to where it comes from.
They're certainly targeting, as they do, the supply issue because that is to stop the trail. But they're like mushrooms; they're popping up all over the place, and it's not hard. Once you go onto the, God bless it, the internet, you can learn to make anything. You can make an atomic bomb off the internet if you go to the right page.
Yeah.
So, and they can do all this stuff, and these fly-by-nighters who want to have a shot at it because think they see some easy dough on it. Once upon a time, the easy dough was curing it, but a few of them are getting grabbed. So then there's those brains trust ones that will make our own in the bathtub because bathtub gin was good in the 1920s.
Yes.
But now they're drinking. So you go and make bathtub methamphetamine and hope you don't poison every person in your house and blow it up at the same time. So that's the stuff that the police will be getting information from hand over fist. But when you think of the logistics behind those sorts of things to get the information, then create an operation where you can clandestinely find these people without getting sprung yourself, then spring them and get all the people and get all the gear. It's heavy-duty stuff and labour-intensive.
Yeah, of course.
It needs lots and lots of cops.
It does, and we're not likely to get that.
Well, we had the conversation before, haven't we?
We've had this on a couple of occasions, so we're not going to get that. So at the end of the day, it's partly the general public who are going to have to help with all of this, and it's the other part of it's going to have to be government who either provide education and that doesn't always work, although there are lots of people on the left will tell you that's the only way to go, is to educate people, and once they know, that's fine. They'll stop.
There are always those who will choose to do this, isn't there? There's always those that are there. And there are those who will get into it by mistake. There will those who will get into it by some misguided sense of adventure. I'll just try this and I can stop any time.
Yeah, that's
all that sort of stuff. And on we go from there. Then there are the other side of the fence who will pick on the gullible ones and push it to them because there's money involved and keep pushing it to them.
Yeah, give them a free one to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And so what the police I see in recent times, like yesterday, the day before, have announced they're creating another task force to directly target bikies as being A-grade distributors and suppliers of drugs. And of course they are. Of course they are. So here we go again. It's reinvent the wheel again. So they're going to target the bikies again and go from there. Certainly the bikies, and there's once upon a time there were 4 major motorcycle gangs in the state, and there's about 14. So there's plenty of them because they all, despite that everyone thinks they do toy runs and so forth, they don't. They do drug runs, and there's big money in it for them, and it's internationally controlled. So the police need to be right on top of this. All right, it's good that they will do this, but there's still going to be people who will come on this program today, mothers and parents of people who've been affected by drugs, who are going to say, help us in our community because the police aren't doing enough.
Yes, but I'm not absolutely convinced that the police have the capacity to do much more. Haven't.
We used to have a drug squad once, that went away. Because someone thought they didn't need a drug squad and didn't need an armed robbery squad and didn't need a liquor branch and all these sorts of things. But certainly those situations there where specialist police targeted specialist offenders, there's going to be a need for that. I dare to use the term culture, but there needs to be that concentration again from people who know.
And the focus, Neil, the focus on it, you know.
Yep, indeed. And if it needs government to start slinging out some money to informants, more than they do, because they do at the moment, but let's get that rolling. Because if the attraction to dob them in is more profitable than actually making the stuff and risking and distributing it, well, let's get onto it and because they'll turn on each other. Oh, if there's a quid involved.
Absolutely they will, because they have absolutely no principle. And it also gives them the opportunity to get some money without having to go to jail for it.
Yes, yes.
So let's do it.
It's heavy-duty, serious stuff, it really is.
And of course, I think it illustrates the depth of the problem when you look at the Commissioner's son, who got involved, quite some time ago now, with this sort of thing. Now, if somebody at that level has a relative or a son or a daughter or somebody like that who gets involved and gets caught up in it, well, I mean, it really does say a lot about the seriousness and the depth of the problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. And you'd think that'd be, for the Commissioner, it'd be something really, really close to his heart.
Indeed.
Really close to his heart. And if it means whacking resources at it to get it done, that's what it needs to do.
Yeah.
If it comes to pass that the Commissioner actually goes from the job, as I believe he will, on the 17th of August, which hasn't been sort of heralded anywhere around the countryside, perhaps it is now a good time for him to bang the counter and come up and say what needs to be done, what needs to happen as far as resources go. Suddenly they're saying there's not enough police. Well, gee, good. Well, now's the time to push the barrow.
Yep.
Lisa Harvey is on the money and she's up front at the minute on every media you can get your eyes on about what's going to happen and what we need to do. Okay, push the barrow, and push it with the Premier. They've got an election coming up in March next year. If you want to make a platform and make a hero of yourself, this is the way to do it.
It certainly is, because I don't think there's anybody that would begrudge paying a bit extra to have police resourced better to fight this scourge. It really is a scourge.
Any one of these people who get their bag snatched in Coles or Woolies because some meth person needs and doesn't care who he injures and gets it, any one of those is going to say, give me some more, me some more.
Absolutely.
And if that means to having roadblocks up and stopping vehicle and checking and so forth, they do it now with booze buses, we'll do it again with drugs as well.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't worry me in the least.
No.
Not in the least.
Or me.
You've got to catch some.
Check me as many times as they like. We're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be back with more in a minute.
This is the Sat 5.
DevRite Homes, when you're looking for attention to detail and a uniquely designed home to suit all your needs. At DevRite Homes, we only build a limited number of homes per year, so we can truly focus on what you want out of a prestige home builder. We've continually won awards for excellence, with a record number of wins last year and the proud winner of the Australian Townhouse Villa of the Year. While we love building homes to suit each client, we pride ourselves on designing homes that take into account the special safety needs of some of our clients. If you have a dream, we can make it come true. Talk to Jay Mangano and find out more about DevRite Homes at www.devrite.com.au.
You need banking services of any type. Secure Force Protective Services run a cash and transit service here in Perth. From as little as $25, why risk your employees travelling to the bank when Secure Force can do it for you? Give us a call at 9440-5011.
You only ever want the best for your family, and no one understands this better than the caring ladies at Marina Perslow and Associates. That's why we offer Australia's leading prepaid funeral plan. It means your family won't be left with the added strain of organising your funeral, and everything will be taken care of, all the little details. Your family will have the support they need with a woman's touch and gentle understanding. So leave them with loving memories and leave the rest to us. Visit marinaperslowfunerals.com.au or phone 9388 1623.
I'm John Hughes. If you want a hassle-free, very enjoyable and happy experience when buying your next vehicle, come to me in Victoria Park. I personally train all my salespeople to be non-pushy, friendly and professional, and we always strive to provide first-class before and after-sales service to all of my customers. So choose your dealer before you choose your car. That's John Hughes in Victoria Park, your car buying destination. DL 6061.
This is the Sattler Files.
Welcome back to the Sattler Files, and my name is Murray Korff, and we're talking with Neil Royle this morning.
You're going on holidays, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Had my nose fixed
get
now.
Focused,
my mouth
Murray. You
won't
haven't
work.
gone. You've got a week to go. Get focused. Yes, we're back again.
We are indeed. Now, listen, let's talk a little bit about another Four Corners program about PTSD and
Police officers.
Yeah,
let's.
That was really gut-wrenching to watch that.
It's an absolute disgrace that, and so for those you don't know, there's quite a number of police officers throughout the nation who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, and that number is actually growing. What the program was about is about the police officers who have gone away from active duty and have gone off to recover from PTSD, and insurance companies are surveilling and investigating to see what they're doing and see if indeed they are suffering. And it's to the point where they are following police officers around and filming them, following their wives and children around and filming them as well, to avoid payouts. And what an absolute disgrace. So, and I know a lot of police officers who didn't cope that well. There's some of us who are fortunate who did, but certainly there were those who were. There was one dead person too many, one bashed up child too many, one drug overdose fighting person too many, and they become ill themselves. And it's embarrassing enough for them as well, and because they're not police officers because it's a better job than selling cars. They're police officers because that's what they want to do.
Yes,
It's a vocation you have to want to do.
Yes.
And it's very distressing when you can't do it. It's distressing enough after when you do years and years of it and you because of the calendar says so, you can't do it anymore. But it's substantially worse when because of what you've seen, what you've been exposed to, you can't control your faculties anymore and you can't do your job properly. But then for those guys who are wondering, what am I going to do now? The profession I love I can't do. I've got to look to plan B, C or D. And then the insurance companies have the temerity to spy on them, video them, take the bug their phones and all sorts of things to avoid having to pay any payouts for these people for their compensation. So, and I suppose compensation is a bad word to use, it's a swear word in the police force, and so we don't use that anymore. So they've had insurance investigators sitting outside this police officer's houses taking photographs and all sorts of things. What the
treating them like common criminals.
Absolutely. What the hell?
And Centrelink laggers.
Exactly. Psychiatrists are saying the insurance companies better get their act together on this because they're not helping the cause. Well, look, that's a bit no-brainer.
Who'd have thought? We all know that.
For heaven's sake.
Didn't need your psychiatrist degree to know that.
Yep. So,
and it's also a deeply insulting to former police officers, or in fact serving officers who are seeking compensation, to treat them like that. It's deeply offensive as far as I'm concerned.
And it is. And so because they've lost their profession, these police officers, so by being hounded by insurance companies and others, does that not then really compound the sense of no hope? Where are we going from here? I can't do my job anymore. I'm entitled to be compensated for the fact of what I've been exposed to and that I can't do this. And now the people who are charged with that responsibility are looking for every possible way not to do it. So where is the hope for these poor people?
Well, there really isn't any if an insurance company turns on you like that. That's really not good. But I mean, it's what we've come to expect from insurance companies and banks and all sorts of other
don't pay.
institutions who are supposed to be supporting people who are their clients and customers, and yet they just turf them out and hang them out to dry when the need is there to call on them for that support.
And it is a growth industry, and it doesn't solely rest with insurance companies either, because even in my time within the police force, I know firsthand as a commissioned officer that if a police officer was on protracted sick leave for any amount of time, we were sent to go and knock on the door, ostensibly to say, "Oh, how you going?" and put your arm around them. But let's go to I'm cynical enough to think that there's a second tier of why or inquiry in there as to see what these bods are doing. And we know from years gone by that insurance companies will sit off on people who are off on sick leave because of workers' compensation. I've done my back, I've done this, I've done... And you see this time and time again on television where they film the bloke his back is too sore for him to sit at his desk, but he's laying bricks or something. So all that's fine. And no one begrudges catching these blokes who are rorting the system. No one does indeed. But this is something else entirely different. This is something else which is off the page, and the insurance companies, I think, should grow a heart on this and look at these things as they are and give these people a chance to recover. They may never get back to their professions. Let's get them back to some self-esteem without being treated as they are, like crooks. And cheats and liars and all of that sort of thing. What a disgrace.
It is a disgrace because it goes to the heart of the problem of mental illness itself.
Yep.
I mean, it is a mental illness, and it goes to the heart of people feeling as though they are not accepted, that what they have is something that they can snap out of, and all of that sort of thing. It really goes against everything that education programs are trying to do to not demystify, but to make sure that people understand that mental illness is something that is real and something that is treatable, but it is something that does happen. Absolutely.
And it's also there's plenty of organisations out there who, on the face of it, are there to help people in this regard. Why is it then that the PTSD situation for police officers seems to be different to everybody else?
It makes no sense to me at all.
If you're an ambulance driver and you get sick and tired of picking up people, and are the insurance companies snooping around trying to catch those guys out as well? Because they've been subject to the trauma and so forth that they would do on a daily basis. Who knows? It seems to me that the police are being targeted on this, and I don't even think that the police forces nationally are across this either. Have they moved this sideways to insurance companies so they don't have to have the police investigating the police? Certainly hope not.
No, I wouldn't think that would be kosher.
And I would hope that in due course that the president of the West Australian Police Union, George Tilbury, will come on and discuss this issue and answer the question, because they've been pushing the barrow for workers' compensation for how many years now, because there's none in the West Australian Police. So let's hear from Tilbury and see. He would have a passionate view on this, I would have thought.
I would think so.
I'd love to get him on to hear him say it.
The problem you've got in dealing with this particular one is, though, insurance companies and banks, they're a law unto themselves. Sorry. even if we did jump up and down and make a noise about it, and you have a Royal Commission, that seems to be de rigueur these days. As soon as something goes wrong, have a Royal Commission. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. They're a law unto themselves. They will continue doing this.
Oh yeah, yep.
And just stare you down.
Yep. And there's no argument you can put up against them either. Even when it comes to the normal type of insurance of property and so forth. If you're a day late and the cows catches fire,
it's all over.
Bad luck. Bad luck. Yeah. Bad luck. But this is a whole new side. This is quite scandalous, really, to attack the integrity of people, which is affecting their lives. Some have taken their lives over this matter.
Oh yes, and I mean that.
And that's
just
how much further you have to push these people. No, get it together, insurance companies.
Absolutely. Neil, it's been a fairly serious one this morning.
Has too. Where's the light-hearted banter about football? No, we won't talk about football. Thanks very much. Thank you.
I don't think we will either.
Don't think so. No.
No. Well, of course, no. We won't talk about football.
No.
I don't think either of us need to go down that road today.
Don't think so. Yeah. And when you go to New Zealand, go and have a look. Have a talk to the Kiwi coppers over there. They're good fellas.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
I'll tell them that Neil sent me.
I've been there before.
Have you?
I'd like you to get out of the place.
Yes.
No, that's great. You'll love it. Enjoy yourself, mate.
I will do, and we'll see you when I get back.
Indeed.
We've been chatting to Neil Royle. More on the Sattler Files very shortly.
This is the Sattler